Hi everyone, I'm LIA Rai here from Immigration Advisors New Zealand, and I'm making this video for all you international students who were planning to study in New Zealand or were in the process of applying for your application when the COVID-19 shutdown happened. So I'm getting a lot of questions and I'll try and answer all those questions here. So, if you are one of those students who were considering studying in New Zealand and were still in the process of researching, what should you do? Should you stop your research? Are the schools still open? Will the uni still give you an offer of place? So my answer for all those questions is yes. You must, if that's what your plan was. If you were considering studying in one of the international countries and in New Zealand, to be very precise, then I would say carry on this research. You have more time with you now. You can select your program, select your uni as carefully as you should have done. And most of the universities have their international admissions office working remotely. So your applications would be processed, your offers would be generated. So carry on with your research. And another question that I generally am getting is, what is the next intake that I can aim for? So nobody really has a clarity on till when the shutdown is. However, most of the universities are and the education providers are aiming at the July 2020 intake. If it doesn't happen, there is another intake November in this year 2020, and you can carry on with your research and aim for whatever is your plan. Another question that I am getting is, hey, I am one of those international students who applied for my visa and then the shutdown happened. So what's happening with my application? Will it be closed, or do I need to give a revised offer? So my answer to that question would be, if you've submitted your application and you're waiting for an outcome, don't panic. At this time, Immigration New Zealand is working on skeletal staff and they are just processing priority applications. Unfortunately, overseas offshore student visa is not one of the priorities at this time, especially when all the borders are closed. So don't panic. Your application is with immigration. They will resume processing as soon as the borders reopen. And when your application is approved in principle, that is the time you should be submitting your revised offer of place. So just relax, more time for you to spend with your family before you start your academic journey. So just cherish this time with your family now. Another question that I get is, I got my AIP and then the shutdown happened. I wasn't able to submit my AIP requirements, or there is a delay from the bank's side because everything is closed now. What happens to me? So in this situation, when you have already been approved in principle for a student visa for New Zealand and the shutdown happened, which is delaying your AIP requirement submission, I would say request for an extension. Request for an extension explaining what is pending, what you are unable to submit, probably a chest x-ray or your fees could not be transferred. Give a time frame by when do you expect that, and immigration definitely will acknowledge, and they do understand that in this situation extensions need to be granted. So that's okay, just relax. Another question that I'm getting from international students is, I got my e-visa and I was all ready to fly for this coming intake in April when the shutdown happened. And I do have a first entry date on my visa. I will not be able to enter New Zealand post that date. What happens to me now? So my answer to this question is that from the latest update that we've received from immigration, they are considering a process wherein the first entry date or the visa expiry dates would be extended. How that would be extended, what would be the process, we're still awaiting more clarity on that. So as we receive more clarity, we'll provide that. But rest assured, immigration is looking at a process to be set so that your first entry date or your visa expiry date could be extended in line with when you are able to travel to New Zealand. Another question that I'm getting is, I'm an international student, really was very happy to start my course, came to New Zealand, and the shutdown happened. So a lot of issues for those students who've just reached New Zealand and they were not able to start their course or get so many other things done. I'll try and cover their specific questions. So first question, I am on an FTS, that's a fund transfer scheme, and I have a bank account open, but before the shutdown happened, unfortunately wasn't able to get my bank account verified. So it's still not active. I can't access the funds that are in my bank. What do I do? So my answer to that question is, please contact your education provider. They would be the best liaison between you and the banking officials. They can submit your address proof or whatever were the pending requirements for your bank to be activated, making sure that you are able to access the funds that are held in your bank here in New Zealand and your FTS account is activated now. Few international students are worried because of this shutdown. They do not have the internet access, or they are not able to join the online classes which the schools have started for them. They're really worried what happens. Would they be considered to be in breach of their visa? Would that negatively affect their visa? I would say please relax, don't worry. But yes, the onus is on you to inform INZ of any change in circumstances. So if you're not able to attend your classes, please inform immigration. Let your education provider inform immigration, but rest assured that this will not be taken adversely on you. This is not an intentional breach from your end and is for reasons that are beyond your control. So please don't stress because of that. Another question that I do get from international students is that, hey, we just came here for the April intake and now the education provider has deferred our intake to July. What is my requirement? What is my obligation towards immigration? So what I would say here is, you must inform immigration for any change in circumstances. That is your responsibility. Do that. If you are unable to get in touch or email immigration, contact your education provider. They will pass on this information on your behalf, and that's okay. Everybody understands that there are changes expected for so many reasons and will never be considered as an intentional breach for you. So all those international students, what I would like to stress here through this video is, please don't panic, please don't stress. We are all there to help. Your education providers are there to help. The education providers have a code of conduct for pastoral care of international students. So any problem that you are in, your education provider is the first point of contact for you. They would resolve anything for you, making sure that your well-being is not at stake. So just relax. For all those international students who are offshore considering New Zealand as their study destination, please carry on your research. You have more time just to make sure that you take a well-informed decision, and the education providers are open, your offers could be issued, and all the best for your academic journey. Thank you.